Support LaneSide. Get something cool.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to another edition of LaneSide Reviews. As always, I'm the bearded beast, Rob Johnson, and as you can tell from this opening, I'm still injured, which means we're going to be looking at a more rev-dominant / two-handed review for some new equipment. But don't worry, Scoops and Old Guy Wayne will be back soon doing one-handed reviews going forward. So until then, why don't we go LaneSide and see how today's equipment stacks up.
Welcome into the shop. As you can see, we have not one, not two, but three hammers. But of course, one of these things is not like the other, because today we're going to be looking at the Not Urethane NuBlue hammer. Yes, we're going to take these down to the lane because we want to make sure people understand what they're looking at. There's been a lot of talk about the NuBlue hammer being the successor, of course, to the purple hammer. But with this being urethane and this not, how close can they be? And with the changes coming up in the next season for, well, our PBA players, they're going to be looking at balls with cover stocks in that 78 to 80 hardness range. So we want to let everyone see what it would be like if we put the NuBlue versus the purple versus potentially what we're going to see out of new urethane, that 78 to 80 hardness. Now, of course, we wanted to make sure that we were comparing apples to apples, so we went with our standard layout. We went 4x5x2 PAL, which of course comes out to 60x4x45 based on my PAP. And each and every single one of these balls has the exact same layout on it. We've also made sure that we've done the same surface prep, and because of course we want to compare apples to apples. No sense comparing apples to giraffes. Those things are creepy. Those long necks, they don't even make noise. I don't know what's wrong with those things. But anyway, now that we've seen what we're looking at, why don't we go LaneSide, talk a little bit more about urethane versus not urethane, and, well, we'll see how each one of these stacks up. All right, welcome back to the lanes. We are once again here in Barrie, bowling on the easiest of easy house shots. And as you saw in the opening, we are throwing the NuBlue hammer. Look at that thing go. Not urethane. So let's jump right into this because this is a very hot topic. Urethane versus not urethane. So let's go into a little bit of a history. Back when the PBA changed the rules of hardness for urethane, and this is only for the PBA and certain USB-C events, but not really anything outside of the PBA. They changed the rules so that, well, basically everyone would stop crying. They raised the hardness of the urethane so that it would have a different footprint on the lane. Footprint means how it's actually seeing the lane, how it's connecting to the lane. The purple hammer had a formula that allowed it to have a different footprint than any other urethane on the market. That's why everybody who got to throw it liked it, and everybody who didn't get to throw it hated it. So the USB-C said, yeah, this ball's fine. PBA said, nah, hold my beer. We need this to be brought up. This has got to come up to 78 hardness. Well, when you challenge chemists are going to do chemistry. So what they did is they, without getting too technical, they got in and they were able to create a cover stock that's not urethane, but it still has most of the properties of urethane. One of the biggest differences being that over a 45-minute period of time, a small amount of oil will, in fact, absorb into the cover stock, which on urethane, it will not. Now, there are some side effects of this. Being that the chemists have changed the literal formula of the urethane, it's changed the density of it a little bit as well. I got that one a little bit far out. I deserved that 7-pin. That was not a good shot. So with the change in the density of the cover stock, it also allowed them to play with the core a little bit. Now this is kind of cool. A lot of people don't realize that out on tour, the 16-pound purple hammer was like the ball of choice. Because of the size of the core, it actually had more dynamics than the 15 and 14 and so on. If you actually look at it, the 16-pound purple hammer had an RG of 2.610 and an RG of 030. Well, with the change in the density of the cover stock for the new, it allowed them actually to change the density of the core of the new as well. So if you look at the 15-pound, you're actually getting a 2.586 RG and an 027 differential. So those are almost identical. So we've got the hottest sought-after performance, and now this new cover stock. So what do you guys think so far? My first impressions throwing it is that I felt like it gave me actually a little bit cleaner than my purple, but the same motion. One thing that I've run into, especially since I've gone to two-handed, is that as the fronts blow open, you get that hook spot where the urethane ball sees it in the front and kind of rolls forward and then starts to hook a little bit. I didn't see that with this ball, and I did this review. I bowled a tournament, my first tournament since I moved to two-handed, and it allowed me to play on dry parts of the lane where no one else could, and they were still playing urethane. So let's go back to core dynamics a little bit here. With that better core dynamic at 15 pounds, it means the pros can get more reaction out of the ball. They can get more hook and get the benefit of urethane, quote-unquote urethane, without having to go up a pound in ball weight. Let's look at science here, folks. Force equals mass times acceleration. If we're decreasing mass but greatly increasing the acceleration, we're going to get the same, if not more, power at the pocket. Here I am left-handed. Boom. And we saw that a lot when the purple Widow came out, because that had this exact same cover stock as the purple, but it just had a more dynamic core, and we saw a lot more performance out of it. Now here I am with my benchmark ball, the Rattler, and we just wanted to make sure, because we've looked at the purple before, we know how it reacted versus this ball, or balls of this type, because every company has one. We were able to now go back and put the new versus... Look at that. The new versus the Rattler. And we were able to stand roughly in the same spot. We just saw a little bit different shape. And you can see it, I think, a little bit better here. If I ever come back onto the screen. So you can see, slide in the same spot. It goes out a few more boards. Depending on the shot we threw, I had anywhere from a tiny bit earlier to actually being able to get down a little bit farther and having a little more pop, depending if I got around it or if I forward rolled it. Now, it wouldn't be a true review. Like we said, we got all these balls here. Let's put it right on the purple. And what did I say when I was throwing it? I felt like it was a little bit cleaner, but the same amount of hook. Watch it go down the lane here. You're going to see them start out in the same spot. The purple is going to be... looks like a couple of feet earlier. Let's watch it here. So it's going down. Yeah, it started just a tiny bit earlier. And because of that, you can see the blue goes down a little bit farther. They have the same motion, the same way through the pins. It just gets a little bit farther down the lane. Now, could you fix that? Sure, you could add a little bit more surface. I'm happy with the surface because I'm on a house shot here. You could really make this thing charcoaly. Now, look at this. We went out and got ourselves a original blue pearl hammer, because we're going to see a lot of urethane coming out right now with 78 hardness. Now, that hardness is going to make the ball much, much cleaner, go down much farther. And, well, if you want to compare old blue to new blue, you can see that there's quite a bit of difference in where we can play it, but the motion is still the same. These are sharing the same or similar cores and core dynamics through each ball. So we're looking at cores, or at cover stock, sorry. We have the same layout, same core. We're looking purely at how the cover stock's reacting. Now here we are at the bottom here, and there's that rattler. Love that every company has one of these. The similar core dynamics, similar core shape, similar cover stock, something benchmarky that everyone can compare a ball to. Now watch this. Here we have the NuBlue, and once again we said just a few boards, maybe a tiny bit earlier, could be almost the same. So if you compare that to the purple, we had the purple at about 3 feet earlier, and anywhere from 3 to 5 boards stronger. Look at this. We're going to go 1, 2, 3-ish boards, maybe 4 boards. So we're in about the same strength. The distance there, we could see the NuBlue hammer was earlier than our benchmark. But it's going to be, as we see here with the purple, if I ever come back on the screen, it's going to be a little bit later than the purple. So you can see the same total amount of hook, just a slight shape difference. And of course it wouldn't be, we got to do more slow-mo here. I love watching this slow-mo because we can really pick it apart. So you can see it come on there. They're almost on top of each other. One's a little bit earlier than the other. And of course, we got to look at that blue, because how many people have talked about, old school versus new school, throwing, oh, well, they've got this new school stuff. 78 hardness and 80 hardness urethane's been out for years. Okay, this is nothing new. What is new is the not urethane NuBlue hammer. New cover stock, a modified core, not in so much that they've changed what it looks like, but they've improved the performance of it. You can see here how they come up. They come to close to the same spot when they make their move, but there's just so much more of the NuBlue. And with a little bit of oil absorption, this is something you're going to be able to play in your league. You're going to be able to play it on tour. And check this out. Just for you urethane heads out there, I know Scoops is loving this. All 3 of them at once, so you can see that exact same motion. Yeah, we've got all the core dynamics are the same. We're just looking at cover stock, and when it comes to the NuBlue, I think they're really onto something here. Brunswick is, they're chemists. Between HK22 and this, they are really knocking it out of the park this year. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a show. So until next time, guys, we'll see you LaneSide.